There are now only 2 games remaining in this championship season, but in terms of the bottom 3 and race for top 6, there's still everything to play for. Now, first things first, a big congratulations to both Leeds United and Burnley, who each secured their promotion from the championship yesterday. A massive achievement. But how is the rest of the championship going to shape up? We're going to do one final Bookies table prediction. We're going to be seeing how much has changed in the Bookies perspective since March, since we last did one of these updates. Looking at the promotion and relegation odds, I want to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Without any further ado though, let's jump in. Starting out at the bottom of the table, the bookies still have Plymouth as the most likely side to be relegated, currently with relegation odds of 1-33. But with 2 games remaining, they're still in the mix following that big win they had on Monday, beating Coventry 3-1. Now, their remaining 2 fixtures, they've got Preston away and then Leeds at home on the final day. Realistically, they're probably going to have to win both matches to give themselves a fighting chance. And if they do lose against Preston at the weekend, they will be relegated. Now, it does have to be said, playing Preston right now, probably not a bad thing. We've been in absolutely terrible form recently. I know Plymouth have really struggled on the road this season. They've only won 1 away match all season. But if ever they were going to do it, now could be the moment, obviously. Even if Plymouth do win their 2 remaining matches, there's still a very good chance that even that won't be enough. They'll still need quite a few results to go in their favour. But 2 games to go, they're still in the mix. Just about. Predicted to finish in 23rd come the end of the season, the bookies do have it down as Cardiff, and how detrimental could that draw against Oxford be come the end of the season? They find themselves in a similar situation to Plymouth. They are a little bit better off because of their superior goal difference, but realistically, they're going to need to win their last 2 matches to give themselves a fighting chance of survival. Coming up at the weekend, they play West Brom at home, and then last day of the season, they travel away to Norwich. All things considered, they're not the worst fixtures in the world. West Brom have been really poor away from home all season. They've just parted company with Tony Mowbray, and Norwich are completely on the beach right now. But how likely is it that Cardiff are going to put together back-to-back wins now, considering they've not done that in the Championship since October? I'm not so sure. You can see why the bookies have got them down there. It really feels like that draw against Oxford could cost them. And then the last team that the bookies do have in the bottom 3 is Luton, but the relegation odds are really close from this point upwards. They've currently got Luton down there with relegation odds of 1-2. Obviously, as of recording, they are in the bottom 3, but form-wise, Luton are probably one of the better sides who are down there at the moment. They're obviously coming off the back of a couple of massive wins over the Easter weekend. They got that huge result away at Derby. They then followed it up with a result at home against Bristol City. Their remaining 2 matches see them going up against Coventry at home at the weekend, and then last day of the season, they'll travel away to face West Brom, obviously. They'll be targeting a maximum of 6 points from those 2 matches. But if results go their way, a draw and a win could be enough to keep them up. It is worth pointing out as well that Luton are the early kickoff on Saturday, so they will play before their fellow relegation contenders, which could be a benefit, could be a drawback. Obviously, if they win that match, it'll really ramp up the pressure on the rest of the teams when they kick off at 3 o'clock, but lose that game and it could take the pressure off a little bit. Predicted to finish in 21st place, the bookies have Derby with relegation odds of 15-8. Now, Derby fans were probably fearing the worst on Good Friday after they lost that crucial relegation showdown to Luton, but they managed to bounce back in style with that result on Easter Monday, going away to West Brom and winning 3-1. Now, Derby have got probably one of the biggest games of the season coming up on the weekend. They travel to Hull away in what is an absolutely mammoth relegation showdown. Then last day of the season, they host Stoke at home, who themselves aren't completely safe right now, so that could be an absolutely bonkers game on the final day as well. Fixture-wise, though, it is worth pointing out that Derby do have their own safety in their own hands, and at this stage of the season, I suppose that's all you can really ask for. Predicted to finish in 20th, the bookies then have Hull City. They've got relegation odds of 13-2 at this stage. Like we were just saying, they've got an absolutely massive game coming up at the weekend when they host Derby. Hull's home form this season hasn't been particularly brilliant, but recently they have got some big wins at home. They beat Oxford at home not too long ago, and obviously on Monday beat my side Preston North End as well. On the last day of the season, Hull travel away to face Portsmouth. That's been a really tough place to go all season, but with Pompey now officially safe, they might take the foot off the gas a little bit for that one. Predicted to finish in 19th come the end of the season, the bookies have Oxford. The relegation odds are starting to get a little bit larger at this point. They've got relegation odds of 16-1. Could turn out to be an absolutely vital point that they picked up on Monday against Cardiff. Cameron Brannigan with an absolute banger to get Oxford back into that game. Mathematically, still not safe yet though. They've got 49 points on the board. We've got a feeling that teams are probably going to be wanting to get to at least 51 points to go ahead and guarantee their survival. So a couple of draws in their last two matches probably would be enough to get them over the line, but the fixtures aren't quite that straightforward. They've got Sunderland at home on Saturday, and then last game of the season they travel away to play Swansea, who've been in really good form recently, in a good mood to end the season quite well. So not the most straightforward of fixtures for Oxford. It feels like they've got to put everything into that home game against Sunderland especially. Predicted to finish in 18th place, we've then got my team Preston North End, currently with relegation odds of 25-1. This is a fall of 4 places in this table since we last did one of these updates in March, and I cannot believe we've actually got ourselves into this situation, but our run of form over these past few weeks and months now probably has just been so tragic that we've been brought into this relegation scrap. These last 2 losses especially have been particularly damaging to our survival hopes, with that loss against QPR and then that loss on Monday away at Hull. What benefits us at the moment is that we do have a superior goal difference to a lot of the sides that are down there at the moment, and that could turn out to be quite vital come the end of the season. But our last 2 matches see us going up against Plymouth on Saturday. That's obviously a huge game in both teams' seasons. And then last day of the season we travel away to play Bristol City, which is going to be really tough, especially if Bristol City don't have the top 6 confirmed by that last game of the season. It's a bit of a disaster really that we have found ourselves in this situation, but honestly we've only got ourselves to blame. We've taken our foot off the gas way too early this season, and to be honest I think it's worth putting out there, if we can't beat Plymouth at home on Saturday, do we even deserve to stay up this season? 1 win from our last 2 games will be enough for survival, but the way we've been playing at the moment, I'm not confident we're going to get that. I do think we will be reliant on other teams below us dropping points. Then in 17th, the last team that could still technically go down is Stoke City, but their relegation odds are quite wide at the moment, 100-1. It would take quite a lot to go wrong in these last 2 matches for Stoke to be relegated, but there are a couple of eventualities that could unfold which sees them going down. Obviously they were absolutely battered on Monday away at Leeds, and their last 2 remaining matches aren't completely straightforward. They've got Sheffield United at home on Friday, and then last game of the season they're away at Derby. To be honest, that game against Sheffield United has probably got a little bit easier now that the Blades can no longer finish in the top 2, so they'll probably have one eye on the playoffs, and I wouldn't be completely surprised if Stoke actually pull off a result in that game, but mathematically at least they're not completely over the line right now. Then we'll obviously reel off the sides who are all projected to finish in mid-table, so none of these clubs have anything to play for in these final couple of matches. Big congratulations to Portsmouth, who did confirm their safety with that result on Monday. Obviously they've been absolutely fantastic at home this season. A couple of really good performances from Pompey over the Easter weekend. You've got QPR in that batch of teams at the moment. Norwich, who are really ending this season on a sour note, been really underwhelmed by them recently. Sheffield Wednesday have got in that batch of teams at the moment. Watford as well. In 11th place we've got Swansea. Now the bookies aren't actually offering any promotion odds for Swansea right now. I think I've worked this out right, but I think there is one eventuality in which they could still technically finish in the top 6 if I've done my maths correct. They'd obviously need to win their remaining 2 matches of the season. That would then see them finishing with 66 points. But they would then need to finish above Middlesbrough or Coventry. Coventry are already on 66 points and Middlesbrough are currently on 66. The difficulty is that Coventry play Middlesbrough on the last game of the season. So what Swansea I think would need to happen is they'd need Middlesbrough to beat Coventry in that last game of the season, and then Swansea would need to have a 14 goal difference swing to finish above Middlesbrough. Listen, it's not going to happen, but they have been on a fantastic run recently, Swansea, and are obviously in the mood to end the season quite strongly. Now because of West Brom's superior goal difference, the bookies are still offering promotion odds odds with them right now, but it's 500 to 1. Listen, it's not going to be happening, isn't it? They've completely fallen apart in these last few weeks. The club has even taken the decision to part company with Tony Mowbray. While West Brom won't be going up from this position, they will still have a key role to play in who goes down. Their remaining 2 fixtures are against Cardiff and Luton, so which West Brom side shows up for those 2 matches is going to have a massive impact on who actually goes down. With promotion odds of 100 to 1, the bookies have got Millwall next up. It feels like they've probably left it a little bit too late. That result away at Blackburn on Friday was probably just too detrimental to their top 6 hopes, but they are still clinging in there with 2 games to go. They would need to win both matches to stand a chance of getting in there, and would obviously need other results to go their way. Not an easy end to the season they've got. They've got Swansea at home on Saturday. Swansea have obviously been in excellent form recently, and then last game of the season they travel away to play Burnley. What's interesting is the bookies actually have Blackburn with shorter promotion odds than Millwall right now, despite actually being a point behind them in the league table. Now, Blackburn do have a superior goal difference to Millwall, which perhaps is worth taking into consideration. Their last 2 matches see them playing Watford at home on the weekend, and then the last game of the season they travel away to face Sheffield United. They've picked it up in recent weeks, but in a similar case to Millwall, feels like they've probably left it a little bit too late. That initial run of form when John Eustace first left the club is probably what's going to cost them here, isn't it? Because they have actually been quite good recently. They've won their last 3 on the bounce. Predicted to finish in 7th place, and we can see just how much the odds shorten from this point onwards. The bookies have Middlesbrough with promotion odds of 8 to 1. It's absolutely mental that Borough are still in this promotion picture. They've lost 3 out of their last 4 league matches, but still have somewhat of a chance to sneak in there on the final day. At the weekend, they play Norwich, who are completely on the beach at the moment, and then last day of the season, there's that playoff showdown where they play Coventry. And obviously Borough will be reliant on results going their way, but Coventry over the weekend, they travel away to Luton. That's by no means a given. And if Borough can win their game, Coventry perhaps if they drop points against Luton, then that sets up a really interesting final day. There's still a scenario in which Middlesbrough can finish in the top 6, but it just feels like they keep shooting themselves in the foot, doesn't it? So you probably guessed it, predicted to finish in that 6th spot. The bookies do have Coventry with promotion odds of 5 to 1 right now. Not the easiest end to the season in terms of their remaining fixtures. That away game at Luton in particular, I think is going to be a really tricky one. It's the early kickoff on Saturday. Luton are going to be so up for that game, with them scrapping for their lives at the bottom of the table right now. And we all know that Coventry away from home haven't been particularly great of late either. Then obviously last day of the season they've got that massive game against Borough, which is going to be really interesting. Predicted to finish in 5th place, the bookies have Bristol City. They are slightly better off than Coventry right now with 67 points. That's 1 more point than Cov have on the board. An interesting couple of fixtures that they've got left. They've got Leeds away on Monday. Which version of Leeds shows up for that game, I'm not so sure, because obviously they've already got over the line and are promoted, but I mean, they may be really motivated and want to win the title. Then last day of the season, they host Preston North End. Whether Preston are safe by that point, it remains to be seen. That probably affects how difficult that fixture is going to be. You know, if Preston go into that last day of the season against Bristol City needing a point or something like that, surely we're going to be scrapping for our lives and making it as difficult as possible. But if not, I can see Bristol City getting quite a comfortable win, to be honest with you. Obviously predicted to finish in 4th place. I mean, it's already guaranteed. It's Sunderland. Sunderland fans, how concerned are you about this recent run of form? It's now 3 consecutive losses on the bounce, just 1 goal scored in your last 4 games. Obviously, it's been confirmed for quite some time that Sunderland would be in the playoffs regardless of what happened in these final few matches, but I always think you want to go into the playoffs with a bit of rhythm to your play, a bit of momentum behind you. Sunderland don't have that right now. Maybe they've got the chance to capture some of that in their last 2 matches. They've got games against Oxford and QPR before they go into the playoffs. And with Sheffield United losing that game against Burnley on Monday, it does mean that it will be the playoffs for Chris Wilder's men. Their 2 remaining championship matches see them playing Stoke and Blackburn, but realistically there's not really anything riding on those matches from a Sheffield United perspective. Now, if the championship table was to finish like this, then it would mean a Sheffield United versus Coventry playoff semi-final and a Sunderland versus Bristol City playoff semi-final, and I think that would set up 2 really interesting matches actually. Obviously, I know Sheffield United historically don't have a good record in the playoffs, but automatically I think I would still make them the favourites for the playoffs. I know it's not always the case, but you know, the league table doesn't lie here. Sheffield United are a better side than those three below them, seen by the amount of points they've been able to accumulate this season. But the playoffs is all about when you peak and if you can do that at the right time. And we've seen in high pressure situations this season that Sheffield United haven't always coped with that bit of pressure, and obviously that really comes into play in the playoffs as well. So yeah, we'll wait and see. And then we may as well do the last two at the same time. The bookies do have Leeds with better title odds than Burnley right now. Obviously promotion to the Premier League has been confirmed for each of them, but Leeds have odds of 4-11 to win the title. Burnley have odds of 9-4 to win the title. Leeds and Burnley fans, do you give that much significance to actually winning the championship, or are you not that bothered regardless? Obviously promotion has now been confirmed. Leeds absolutely emphatic victory over Stoke on Monday, and Burnley obviously managed to get the job done against Sheffield United in the later kick-off. I think both of those fan bases, probably Leeds especially, will be mightily relieved that they won't have to deal with the playoffs or anything like that, but I think richly deserved for each of them on their promotion to the Premier League. But that's how the bookies think the championship table will shape up at the end of the season. But what are you guys saying? Do you think there will still be more twists and turns to come in these final two matches? I want to hear your relegation and top six predictions in the comments down below. Apart from that though guys, thank you very much for tuning in. If you did go on to enjoy, make sure to leave a like, and I'll catch you all in the next one.